Why, hello there. It is your fearless leader himself, Pork Sandwich here. Jumping right off to the 2019 season. We're about a week and a half away from draft time. We've got the board right here. It's not put up. I was down in the basement kind of cleaning up, doing some vacuuming, and I said, you know what? It's time for a video. So let's do a video. In this video, I'm just going to do a real brief overview of the league's keeper options, and I kind of have them ranked from my least favorite to favorite, or I think who will have the best value of the players that they have choices from, not necessarily who I think they're going to keep. But starting at the bottom, we're going to go with Team Blatchford. Team Blatchford, he's got Tariq Cohen for a 5. Probably in the area he's going to go. Not a ton of value there. A decent player. We don't know how it's going to shake out with the Bears running backs this year. He's got Calvin Ridley at 9. That could be a good option. He had quite a few touchdowns. I think he led the rookies NFL last year for receivers. And then he's got Deshaun Jackson for 10 in a new offense in Philadelphia. And he's got Eric Ebron, who excelled last year with Andrew Luck. Again, there's some decent options here. Not anybody you're going to go crazy about. And that's why Blatchford's last. Second to last, we got Wolf. He's got Mitchell Trubisky for a 9, Bob Woods for a 3, Sterling Shepard for a 5, Andrew Luck for a 6, and James White for a 9. Now, the only one that I can see much value here, potentially James White, get him for a few rounds later than what he's going to go for, but everybody else is kind of right where they're going to be drafted, and again, that's why you're in 11th place in my rankings. And then we're in number 10. We're going to go with BBC. Again, not any fault of the players here. He's got some good players to choose from, but the value for the rounds he's keeping in just isn't all that appealing. He's got Deshaun Watson for an 8. Kept him last year. He's got Marlon Mack for a 5. Could get a few round discount there. Julian Edelman again for 4. Might get a round or 2 discount there. Kenyon Drake for a 7. Would be a second-time keeper. Not sure if he's keeping him. He's got Kerryon Johnson for a 3. Again, not sure the value. Kerryon Johnson, I would assume he's going to go in the 2-3 round range anyway. So again, good players, but not the best values. Next would be myself, Pork Sandwich. I have Adam Thielen. I'm going to keep him. I have very limited keeper options here. I got Tony Miller for 10. Thielen is going to be kept for an 8. Tony Miller and Corey Davis for a 6. I mean, it's not that great. The only reason I'm probably this high is because I'm doing the video and doing the rankings. But I like Adam Thielen. He led the league last year most of the time for receiver points until the end of the season came and didn't do too much. But Anthony Miller, I like his prospects this year to potentially have a little bit of a breakout. Second year in Nagy's offense. Was injured for most of the year, was second in the NFL for rookies touchdowns for receivers. And then Corey Davis, if I go with him, I mean, he's bound to break out sometime, or maybe he's this Devontae Parker 2.0, who knows. And then right above me is going to be the Chump Star, our 2018 champion. Again, he's got Jordan Howard. He could potentially keep for an 8, and it would be the last time he would be able to keep him. A little more busier of a backfield now, in an offense that likes to go with the committee role, so not sure if he's going to keep him. And his other options here, again, not a ton of keeper options, but he's got Aaron Jones for a 7, and I think it's Tyler Boyd for a 9 with A.J. Green. Those last 2 are my guesses for him. And then we got number 7, we got Andy Weiland. He's got Jared Goff for an 11 and George Kittle for a 14, Marvin Jones for an 8. So pretty good players here. Obviously, Kittle was a great draft pick last year. I applaud you for that, Renee. Weiland, get my Andes mixed up. And then Goff he traded for from Scrab. Got to roll with him now. You made that trade. He's doing it. And again, sometimes quarterbacks go a little later. There'll be a lot of options in the 11th for quarterbacks, but he got his guy at 11. Above him is the other Andy Renee. Now he's got some pretty good players here. He traded for Juju last year. And he would be able to be kept for 2 more years. This year for a 10, he could keep Ertz for a 6, Adrian Peterson for a 10, Christian Kirk for a 9, Cortland Sutton for a 9, and Kenny G for an 8. So he's got a lot of receivers to choose from, lot of pass catchers. Probably not going to keep AP just due to his age. There's a lot of noise in that backfield right now. A lot of competition, but I like his options at receiver and or tight end. Got a lot to choose from there. At number 5, we got the Turds team. Turds got Michael for a 3. Probably be around where he goes. Might be going a little higher. Who knows? Might get a half a round value on him. Chris Carson had a great year last year, second half. He could keep him for the second time in a row for a 7. Darius Geis for an 11th. He's been holding on to him all year last year. You think he's got to go with him to make that roster spot that was plugged up by an IR player all last year worth it, but we'll see. Dante Foreman is with the Colts now. Maybe there's an injury ahead of him where he gets an opportunity. We'll see the rest of this preseason. And then and/or DJ Moore for 9, who's also a decent pick for 9 this year, looking to be a pretty important part of that Carolina offense. However, there is some other talk about Curtis Samuel, who is on the Carolina Panthers as well, who is supposedly having a great camp. So we'll see what happens there. But like those players, potentially could have a good one in Geis, but again, we don't even know what he is at this point. Carson is a good keeper, I believe. And then if he decided to go with Michael, could be an option there too for 3. But again, not a lot of value there, but good players. At number 4, I have Bethel, Team Biffle. Bethel has, he's got Devontae Adams for 5, and this will be the last year he would keep him. And he's got McKinnon for 11, and then he's got Eckler for 10. And you might say, that's not that great, but I would assume that Adams is probably going to be one of the top receivers this year, top 5 for sure. And then if Gordon holds out, he's going to get a steal with Eckler at 10, depending how long he holds out, obviously. But I would assume that he would keep Eckler if Gordon does hold out. But again, McKinnon was on his bench all last year in that IR position, so may have to justify that, may not, may just call it quits on him. Who knows? Next, at number 3, we got Boobs. Boobs has Nick Chubb for 5, Philip Lindsay for a 6, Dante Pettis for 9, and Michael Thomas for the last time for a 6. So he's got a lot of talent to choose from here. Kind of determined. I got a pretty good idea who he's going to go with. But again, all 4 of these players are pretty good. Good options anyway, and I'm sure anyone would be happy to choose from them. And then number 2, we got Tyler, and Tyler has Tyreek Hill for a 6 for the last time. He's got Jared Cook for 9, who's now in New Orleans. He's got Mahomes for 14, who's probably a shoe-in to keep. He's got Godwin for 11, who is having supposedly a good camp, and then he's got Tyler Lockett for 10. So he's got some good options at receivers, depending if he wants to roll with Tyreek for this one last time for a 6, which is a good value. And then he's got Mahomes at 14, obviously, after a big year. Hard not to keep him for 14, so good options there. And then up on top, we got the Beans team. Beans has Kamara for a 7, Balaj for a 9, and Connor for a 13. I think it's pretty clear he's keeping Kamara and Connor, and is going to be quite a force having a later round, first round pick. Some of these players might be falling to him, kind of depending if he goes running back receiver, or receiver running back, or receiver receiver, tight end, who knows. He's going to have 4 great players to start off with, and it's going to be a tough one to overcome. So we all got to rely on Jan fucking up the draft, which has been done before. So with that being said, I'm going to call this video a quits and sign out. Adios. Work sandwich.